An alien queen mother gave her daughters to the human, who rescued her from death. Humanity had spread far beyond Earth, colonizing hundreds of star systems, but the frontier called to those with curiosity in their hearts. Elias, a seasoned explorer, had spent nearly 15 years charting uninhabited planets, asteroids, and derelict ships. Most of his discoveries were small, rare minerals, abandoned satellites, or strange cosmic phenomena, but he had learned to expect the unexpected. Still, nothing could have prepared him for the day he found Queen Mother Gyra. Elia's ship, the Horizon, glided silently through the dark void. The sensors had picked up a faint energy signature from a nearby asteroid belt, and curiosity urged him to investigate. As he approached, the source became clear. A massive alien vessel, sleek and shining with strange metallic hues, had crashed into a cluster of jagged rocks. Its hull was cracked, and sparks flew from exposed circuits. Whatever happened here, Elias muttered to himself, it wasn't natural. He maneuvered the Horizon closer, scanning the vessel. The life signs were faint but present, one large signature, barely detectable deep inside the wreck. Elias' heart raced. He had never seen an alien like this up close, let alone one alive in such a state. He suited up, double-checked his tools, and activated the external boarding drone. The asteroid belt made navigation difficult, but Elias had faced worse. Slowly, carefully, he guided the drone toward the broken ship. Its hull was hot in some places, cold in others, showing signs of both fire and vacuum exposure. As he approached a large breach in the side of the vessel, the life signature pulsed weakly. Inside, the air was thin and tinged with a strange scent, something metallic and sweet at once. Elias moved cautiously, using his flashlight to illuminate the interior. The corridors were unlike any human design, smooth, curved walls that seemed to glow faintly, with panels of light moving like liquid under his touch. And then he saw her. Queen Mother Gyra was lying against the wall, her form humanoid but taller and more graceful than any human. Her skin shimmered faintly, like silver under the light, and her eyes, even half closed, glowed with a soft golden hue. She was badly injured, one arm twisted at an impossible angle, and her breathing was shallow. Elias' instincts took over. He activated the emergency medical kit, gently lifting her onto a stretcher-like device. The Queen's golden eyes opened slightly. For a moment, she seemed to look right into his mind, and Elias felt a strange warmth, almost a sense of recognition. "You saved me," she whispered in a voice that resonated more than it sounded. Elias couldn't understand her words fully, but the meaning was clear. He worked quickly, patching wounds, stabilizing her vitals, and scanning for internal damage. Every movement had to be careful. One wrong motion could end her life. He marveled at the alien technology integrated into her body, circuits and organic tissue blending seamlessly. He had seen cybernetic implants before, but this was entirely different. It was advanced beyond anything humanity had achieved. Once she was stable enough, Elias used the ship's tractor beam to lift her vessel slightly, enough to clear the asteroid debris. Slowly, carefully, he guided it toward the hangar of the Horizon. Every second counted. The vessel's hull could collapse at any moment. Finally, he managed to bring it inside the hangar. He secured her, ensuring she was safe for transport. For a few long moments, he just stared at her, realizing the magnitude of what he had done. He had just saved the life of someone incredibly important, someone who was likely royalty in her civilization. Queen Mother Gyra remained unconscious for hours. Elias monitored her vitals, checked the alien devices keeping her alive, and made adjustments wherever he could. He had little knowledge of alien medicine, but instinct, patience, and human ingenuity carried him through. When she finally stirred, her eyes opened, meeting his with an intensity that made his chest tighten. "You human," she said slowly, her voice still weak but firm. "You have saved my life. "I'm Elias Arden," he replied, his voice calm. "I'm just glad I got to you in time." Jaira tried to sit up but winced in pain. Elias quickly supported her. She noticed his careful attention, the gentle movements, and something in her demeanor softened. In her long life she had seen many allies and enemies, but the human before her had no claim of authority, no request for reward. He had acted purely out of compassion. "You risked yourself," she said, her words deliberate. "Why?" Elias shrugged slightly, not wanting to overcomplicate the answer. "Because it's the right thing to do. I couldn't leave you there to die." Jaira's expression changed. Gratitude mixed with curiosity and something Elias could not identify. She closed her eyes briefly, seeming to gather strength. "Your courage unusual," she whispered. "Your species unexpected, worthy of trust." For Elias it was both reassuring and terrifying. He had saved a life, yes, but he had no idea what obligations or consequences this act might bring. Jaira's people were far more advanced than humanity. Perhaps he had just painted a target on his back by interfering in alien affairs. Over the next few days, as Jaira recovered under Elias' care, she began to speak more, and slowly he began to understand her words through a translator device he had improvised from her ship systems. She told him about her civilization, a vast empire spanning multiple star systems, with knowledge and technology beyond human imagination. Yet, despite her power, she had been vulnerable in that moment, reminding Elias that even the greatest beings could fall. "You saved me from death," Jaira said one evening, her voice steadier now. "I owe you a debt." Elias frowned slightly. "I didn't do it for a debt, I did it because it was the right thing." Jaira's golden eyes glimmered. "Right, but your rightness changes things. For you and for your people." Elias didn't fully understand, but he could sense the weight of her words. There was a power in her gratitude, a responsibility that came with having saved someone of such stature. As days passed, Elias and Jaira formed a bond built on respect and trust. She observed his decisions, his problem-solving, his courage in difficult situations, and she seemed to recognize qualities she admired in her own people. Elias, in turn, marveled at her intelligence, grace, and calm authority. Though she was alien in every way, there was a shared understanding, an unspoken recognition that courage, compassion, and ingenuity were universal traits, not confined to one species. One evening, as the twin suns of a nearby system cast golden light through the hangar, Jaira spoke words that would change Elias' life forever. "You have saved me, human," she said softly. "And for that, I will give you a gift. Not a gift of objects, but of life itself, my daughters." Elias blinked. "Your daughters?" "Yes, 3. They are young but strong, bright minds, courageous hearts. I cannot watch over them now. There are enemies in my empire who would harm them for my absence. You will protect them, teach them, guide them. You have proven your worth." Elias felt a mixture of awe, confusion, and honor. To be entrusted with the lives of alien princesses, beings of power, intelligence, and potential beyond human imagination, was both incredible and terrifying. Yet he realized that this was the universe's way of showing him that humanity had a place in the broader galaxy, that courage and compassion could forge bonds between species. I'll do it," he said finally, his voice firm. "I'll protect them. I'll teach them, guide them." "You have my word." Jaira's expression softened, and for the first time a faint smile crossed her face. "Then our paths are intertwined. You and my daughters, and perhaps your people, will shape the future together." As Elias watched the alien queen resting again, he felt the enormity of the moment. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and dangers alike. Yet in that instant he knew one truth: humanity's courage, ingenuity, and heart could touch even the stars. And through that bond, they would rise together with allies beyond imagination. The adventure had only just begun. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the viewport of the horizon, but for Captain Elias Arden, the emptiness of space suddenly felt full of responsibility. He had rescued Queen Mother Jyra, but her parting words echoed in his mind like a call he could not ignore. Her daughters, 3 alien princesses, each a part of a civilization more advanced than humanity, were now entrusted to him. The next steps were not simple. He had to prepare for their arrival. Elias spent hours reviewing the alien ship systems, trying to understand the communication devices, medical tools, and protective mechanisms the Queen had left behind. He cleaned and adapted living quarters to be safe and comfortable for beings who were not human. Every detail mattered. If he failed to provide proper care, the responsibility Jyra had placed on his shoulders could become a disaster. Then, the day came. A small fleet of sleek alien craft appeared through the portal of hyperspace, carrying the Queen's daughters. Elia's heart pounded as the ships landed gracefully inside the hangar. The hatch of the first ship opened, and a tall, slender figure stepped out. Her skin shimmered like pale gold under the lights, and her eyes held the sharp focus of a tactician. This was Elira, the eldest. She observed Elias quietly, her gaze assessing, cautious, but not hostile. "You are the human who saved Mother," she said, her voice melodic and precise. Elias nodded. He did not speak the alien language fluently, but the translator built into her ship made understanding possible. "I am Elias Arden. I will keep you safe," he said simply. Elira studied him for a long moment, then inclined her head, a gesture Elias interpreted as acceptance. The second daughter, Lysera, emerged next. She was smaller, with soft features and eyes that glowed faintly green. Her expression was wary, but her presence carried warmth. Unlike her sister, Lysera's instincts were more empathic. She moved closer to Elias cautiously, sensing his intentions rather than analyzing them. "You are not like the others," she said softly, almost whispering, "but Mother trusts you." The youngest, Kyria, bounded out of the ship last. She was energetic, her silver hair catching the light and her eyes sparkled with curiosity. Unlike her sisters, Kyria's personality was bold and impulsive. She circled Elias, peering at him with excitement and suspicion in equal measure. "You're human," she exclaimed. "Do you know how cool that is? I've never met a human before." Elias chuckled, despite the tension in his chest. "I'm glad you think so. I'll do my best to make this safe and comfortable for you all." The princesses' ships powered down automatically as they entered the hangar, and Elias guided them to quarters he had prepared. They were minimal but clean, with spaces adaptable to alien needs. He had learned from Jyra's technology that comfort did not always require familiarity. What mattered was security, warmth, and freedom of movement. Over the next several days, Elias began the slow work of teaching. Not formal lessons, but understanding. He shared human language, food, customs, and history. At first, the daughters were cautious, observing quietly, measuring his character. Elira, ever the strategist, would ask detailed questions about Earth's military, politics, and technology. Lysera focused on understanding human emotions and behaviors, quietly noting how Elias interacted with people and machines alike. Kyria, ever playful, explored everything, touching consoles, pressing buttons, and asking endless questions about human inventions. Despite their differences, the three sisters shared an innate curiosity and intelligence that impressed Elias. They learned quickly, adapting human concepts into their alien understanding. Elira devised ways to improve systems aboard the Horizon using logic that combined alien technology with human ingenuity. Lysera showed an uncanny empathy, calming tense moments among crew members and even predicting reactions in delicate situations. Kyria, though impulsive, discovered solutions to technical problems by thinking in ways humans rarely considered. As days turned into weeks, Elias began to see more than just their intelligence. He saw their courage, resilience, and willingness to act in dangerous situations. One evening, A minor accident occurred in the hangar when a cargo container tipped over, threatening to crush a section of the ship. Without hesitation, Alyra calculated the trajectory and moved swiftly, redirecting the container with precision. Kyria jumped into action as well, using a tool to secure the container. Lysera, sensing the stress in the crew nearby, guided them away calmly, preventing panic. Elias watched in amazement. "You three are incredible," he said, genuinely impressed. The daughters exchanged glances. For the first time, they were not just testing him. They were recognizing him as a teacher, a protector, and perhaps a friend. As their bond grew, Elias learned more about each of them. Alyra had the sharp mind of a general and an instinct for strategy that could rival the best military leaders in the galaxy. Lysera was gifted with empathy, able to sense feelings and motivations that were often hidden, making her a natural mediator. Kyria's creativity and inventiveness could turn impossible situations into solvable problems. Together, they were extraordinary, but without guidance, their potential could remain raw. Elias realized that the Queen's decision to entrust them to a human was not just an act of gratitude, it was a recognition of humanity's unique qualities. Humans were resourceful, adaptable, and courageous. These qualities, combined with the daughters' innate strengths, could create something new, something greater than either species could achieve alone. But the universe was rarely quiet for long. Sensors aboard the Horizon detected unusual energy fluctuations near a neighboring system. Elias investigated and discovered traces of alien ships, moving with stealth and intent. They were not yet hostile, but their presence suggested they might have learned of the Queen's vulnerable daughters. He called the princesses together. "There may be threats approaching," he said carefully. "I need you to be cautious and prepared. We may face challenges, but we can face them together." Alyra's eyes narrowed. "We are trained to handle danger," she said, her voice firm. "But your strategies, humans, are unpredictable. I trust your judgment." Lysera nodded, placing a hand over her heart. "We will follow you, human. Mother trusts you, and so do we." Kyria bounced on her toes, a small grin on her face. "Then let's see what humans can do. I'm ready for anything." Elias smiled, feeling both pride and responsibility. These girls were more than his charge. They were a bridge between worlds, a chance for humanity to prove itself in the galaxy. The following weeks were filled with training, exploration, and adaptation. Elias taught them not only human knowledge but human values: kindness, bravery, problem-solving, and teamwork. In return, the daughters shared insights from their civilization, teaching Elias new ways to approach problems, new ways to think about technology, energy, and even diplomacy. One evening, while observing a distant star cluster, Alyra spoke softly. "Human, you are teaching us more than survival. You are teaching what it means to care, to act without expecting reward. That is new to us." Elias nodded. "That's what humans do. We can be stubborn, yes, and sometimes reckless, but when it matters, we stand for each other. You'll see, we can be stronger than any single technology or weapon because of how we think, how we act together." Lysera added, "I can feel it. Your courage, your patience, it is shaping us. We will grow because of it, and perhaps the galaxy will be better for it." Kyria jumped up suddenly, pointing at a small comet streaking past the viewport. "And we'll make it fun too, learning and adventure together. Come on, let's see what we can do next." In that moment, Elias felt a warmth in his chest unlike anything he had experienced. He had saved a queen, but in return, he had gained a responsibility that stretched far beyond personal duty. He had the chance to guide beings who could change the course of the galaxy, and perhaps in the process, humanity itself. As night fell aboard the Horizon, the stars glinting like scattered diamonds, Elias stood at the bridge, looking at the three princesses as they explored their new home. Each one was different, yet each carried the potential to become a remarkable leader. Each had the chance to witness the best of humanity firsthand, And Elias knew, deep in his heart, that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders, dangers, and mysteries yet unsolved. But together, with courage, ingenuity, and trust, humans and alien daughters could face whatever came. The gift from the Queen was more than the lives of her children. It was a chance to prove that humanity could rise to meet the stars. And rise they would. The calm of space never lasted long. Captain Elias Arden had begun to enjoy a quiet routine aboard the Horizon, teaching the three alien princesses, Elira, Lysera, and Kyria, the ways of humanity and life beyond their homeworld. Yet the universe had other plans. It began subtly. Sensors picked up a faint signature, a ripple in the distant void that suggested movement, ships cloaked from ordinary detection. Elias frowned at the readings. "These aren't random signals," he said to himself, tapping the console. "Someone is tracking us." The princesses gathered around the bridge as he explained the situation. Elira's eyes narrowed, her strategic mind immediately calculating possibilities. "Humans may be unpredictable, but enemies of my mother are precise," she said. "They will test us." Lysera placed a calming hand on Elia's arm. "Then we prepare. Together, we are stronger than they expect." Kyria bounced on the bridge, her excitement a mix of nervous energy. "Do we get to try out the ship's tricks too? I want to see what humans can really do." Elias smiled, appreciating her enthusiasm, though his mind remained serious. "We'll need every skill we have. This won't just be about technology, it will be about how we think, how we act." Within hours, the first sign of danger arrived. A small fleet of alien ships emerged from hyperspace, moving swiftly toward the horizon. They were sleek, predatory in design, and unlike anything Elias had encountered before. He immediately alerted the crew and prepared for evasive maneuvers. The princesses reacted instinctively. Elira moved to the tactical console, analyzing the fleet. "They are organized," she observed. "They expect an easy target, but we are not easy." Lysera focused on predicting the attackers' movements, sensing patterns in their approach. "We must remain calm. Panic will only make mistakes." Kyria, meanwhile, activated the auxiliary shields and weapon systems, her fingers flying across the controls. "Let's show them that humans can fight smart, not just fast." The first wave of attackers approached. Elias guided the horizon with precision, weaving through an asteroid field to confuse sensors and avoid direct fire. The fleet pursued, but Elias' combination of human ingenuity and the daughter's advanced guidance made them difficult to hit. Elira predicted the enemy's maneuvers, giving Elias split-second advantages. Lysera's readings allowed him to anticipate changes in their trajectory, and Kyria's quick adjustments kept the ship's defenses optimal. Despite their efforts, the attackers were relentless. Laser blasts streaked past, and the ship shook as some struck the hull. The crew worked tirelessly, trusting Elias' leadership. In the midst of chaos, Elias felt something he had never felt before, a connection to the princesses, a shared understanding that human courage could complement alien power. After several tense minutes, Elias executed a daring move. Using the gravitational pull of a nearby asteroid, he slingshotted the horizon around the rocks, confusing the enemy sensors and giving them an opportunity to strike back. Elira's calculations were perfect. The attackers were caught in a crossfire pattern she devised with Elias. Laser beams ricocheted, disabling several enemy ships without destroying them entirely, an approach designed to avoid unnecessary casualties while asserting dominance. Lysera guided the crew, calming them and ensuring everyone remained focused. Kyria's boldness shone as she suggested unconventional tactics, using energy reflections from the asteroid surfaces to redirect some of the enemy's firepower back toward their ships. Elias implemented her idea and it worked brilliantly. The enemy fleet, unprepared for such adaptive maneuvers, began to retreat. Once the immediate threat passed, Elias let out a deep breath. The princesses gathered around him, faces alight with adrenaline and pride. "You did it," Elira said, her voice steady but impressed. "Your tactics, human ingenuity remarkable." Lysera smiled softly. "We are learning much from you, not just survival but strategy, courage, and adaptability." Kyria bounced on her toes again. "See, I told you humans were cool. That was amazing." Elias chuckled, though he remained cautious. "This was only the beginning. Others will come. We must be ready for anything." The next few days were filled with preparation. Elias improved the ship's defenses, integrating suggestions from the daughters. Elira designed strategic simulations, teaching the crew how to anticipate enemy maneuvers. Lysera focused on crew morale and coordination, ensuring that everyone remained calm under pressure. Kyria tested equipment, creating inventive ways to combine human and alien technology. Despite the tension, the bond between Elias and the princesses grew stronger. They trusted him, and he trusted them. The momentary thrill of battle had revealed more than danger. It had revealed the power of cooperation, intelligence, and courage. Humans, often underestimated, could rise to the challenge alongside beings far more advanced than themselves. Then, a new threat appeared. Intelligence gathered from the first encounter revealed a larger force mobilizing in a nearby system. This fleet was not merely interested in capturing the princesses. They sought to destabilize Queen Mother Jaira's empire entirely. Elias realized the danger was far greater than anything he had faced before. "We cannot wait for them to come," Elira said, her tactical mind already forming a plan. "We must strike first, disrupt their organization, and protect the princesses." Lysera nodded. "And we must remain vigilant. Their attacks will not be predictable. We need to anticipate, not react." Kyria twirled with excitement, though her voice carried seriousness. "Then let's show them what humans and aliens together can do." Elias felt a surge of pride. These girls were not merely wards. They were allies, capable of independent thought and action, and ready to face the dangers of the galaxy with him. Together, they formed a team unlike any other. Human courage, alien intellect, and shared determination. The following weeks involved reconnaissance, minor skirmishes, and constant vigilance. Elias led daring missions to disrupt enemy supply lines, with the daughters contributing their unique skills. Elira's strategic genius ensured every move was precise. Lysera's insight into emotional patterns allowed them to predict enemy decisions. Kyria's inventiveness found solutions no human or alien alone could devise. During one particular mission, they encountered an enemy ship blocking access to a critical energy relay station. The princesses immediately went to work. Elira directed the attack, calculating shield weaknesses and maneuvering patterns. Lysera monitored enemy communication signals, predicting their responses. Kyria suggested a clever diversion, using reflected energy pulses to confuse sensors and create openings. Elias executed the plan flawlessly, and the mission succeeded without loss of life. The crew celebrated quietly, proud of their combined achievement. "We're learning," Elias said, smiling at the princesses. "Every time we work together, we become stronger. Not just humans, not just aliens together, we're unstoppable." Elira's golden eyes met his. "Your leadership, your courage, human, it is remarkable." "We are fortunate you saved our mother," Lysera added softly, "and fortunate that we can learn from you. There is much to see, much to understand. Together we will prepare for anything." Kyria grinned. "And have fun while doing it. Who says preparation can't be exciting?" Elias laughed. In the midst of danger, chaos, and uncertainty, there was joy, discovery, and trust. He had saved a queen, but he had gained more than he could have imagined. He had allies, friends, and the proof that humanity, though young in the galaxy, could rise to challenges far beyond its own understanding. Yet, as he looked at the stars, Elias knew that the greater challenge was yet to come. This initial fleet was only a warning. Forces opposed to Gyra's rule and those who underestimated humans were gathering. The battles ahead would require courage, intelligence, and unity. But for the first time, Elias believed with certainty that humans were ready, not just to survive, but to excel, to protect, and to prove their worth in the galaxy. And the princesses, once wary of humans, were now ready to fight beside them, united by trust, respect, and a shared vision. The threat was real, the danger pressing, but together they could face anything. And the galaxy would soon learn that courage, ingenuity, and the human spirit could shine as brightly as the stars themselves. The stars shimmered coldly beyond the viewport of the horizon, but inside, tension and determination burned bright. Captain Elias Arden knew that the initial skirmishes with the enemy fleet were only the beginning. Forces opposed to Queen Mother Gyra were gathering strength, and the princesses, Elira, Lysera, and Kyria, were now not only under his protection but active participants in the strategy to defend their world. Elias convened a council aboard the ship. The crew, though human, had come to trust his decisions implicitly, and the princesses' knowledge of alien tactics made them invaluable advisors. "The enemy is larger than before," Elias said, pointing to the tactical display. "But they are divided. We can exploit that and protect the princesses while striking strategically." Elira leaned over the console, analyzing the data. "If we coordinate with the loyal factions within my mother's empire, we can form a unified front. They will respond to reason, not just fear. We can show them the strength of cooperation, human and alien alike." Lysera's eyes glowed softly as she added, "Morale is key. Both our forces and the civilians must know they have hope. Fear weakens, confidence strengthens. We must inspire them, not just fight." Kyria bounced impatiently, her silver hair glinting in the lights. "And we need surprises. The enemy will expect straightforward tactics, but we're not ordinary. Humans and aliens together, think of what we can do." Elias smiled. He had come to rely on their insights as much as they relied on his leadership. "Then it's settled. We'll form an alliance. We'll train, coordinate, and strike where we are strongest. But we must be careful. One mistake could cost thousands of lives." Their first step was communication. Using the Queen's network, Elias and the princesses reached out to loyal planetary leaders, sending messages of solidarity and strategy. Elira carefully drafted the battle plans, blending alien technology with human ingenuity. Lysera coordinated morale-boosting messages, emphasizing the importance of unity and hope. Kyria suggested innovative methods to deploy troops and ships, drawing on principles humans rarely considered, yet perfectly compatible with alien technology. As the fleet of allies began to assemble, Elias led simulations aboard the horizon. The princesses worked tirelessly, teaching the human crew to adapt to alien tactics, while humans taught them to think creatively under pressure. Elira's tactical precision, Lysera's empathy for anticipating enemy reactions, and Kyria's inventive solutions created a combination far stronger than any single species could achieve alone. Then came the first real test. A communication from the enemy threatened immediate attack on a nearby planetary colony loyal to the Queen. Elias realized this could not be ignored. "We have to move quickly," he said. "This is not just about survival. It's about showing what humans and allies together can do." The fleet jumped into action. The journey to the colony was tense, each ship scanning for ambushes, each crew member on alert. Elias coordinated with Elira, Lysera, and Kyria, who advised him constantly, their different skills complementing one another. As they approached the planet, enemy ships appeared, surrounding the colony with calculated precision. Elias stayed calm. "Remember what we've practiced. We use strategy, ingenuity, and teamwork. This is our chance to show them strength combined with wisdom." Elira's plan unfolded quickly. "Divide their attention. We use the asteroid field for cover, split our forces, and protect the colony while disabling their command ships. Lysera guided the human pilots and alien crews alike, ensuring communication was clear and morale remained high. Kyria suggested using a reflective energy pulse to temporarily blind enemy sensors, giving the Allied fleet a tactical advantage. The battle was intense. Lasers and energy pulses lit the void, and ships maneuvered with precision and daring. Elias piloted the horizon through a dangerous path, weaving between asteroids, avoiding enemy fire and striking where necessary. The princesses directed operations seamlessly, each using their unique abilities to ensure success. Alira's strategic mind anticipated enemy moves before they happened. She guided the Allied fleet into positions that neutralized the attackers' advantages. Lysera sensed shifts in enemy morale, advising when to press forward or hold back. Kyria's ingenuity turned critical situations into opportunities, using human-style improvisation combined with alien technology to gain the upper hand. Within hours, the enemy fleet was forced to retreat. The colony was saved and the Allied forces cheered, both humans and aliens united in victory. Elias felt a surge of pride, not just for himself or the crew, but for the princesses. They had become leaders, trusted advisors, and true warriors, learning humanity's strength while teaching it in return. As celebrations began, Elias took a moment to speak with the princesses privately. "This was only the first challenge," he said. "The enemy will return stronger and more organized. But today, we showed them that courage, intelligence, and unity can overcome even overwhelming odds." Elira nodded solemnly. "And we've learned the value of partnership. Humans may not have our technology, but your courage, adaptability, and creativity are as powerful as any weapon." Lysera smiled softly. "Hope and trust, those are as important as strength. Today we gave both to our allies." Kyria grinned widely. "And we made it fun. I love how humans and aliens can make a great team." In the days that followed, the alliance solidified. Colonies previously hesitant to join Gyra's loyalists now pledged support, inspired by the human-led victories and the coordinated efforts of the princesses. Elias worked tirelessly, not just as a captain but as a diplomat and teacher, showing that humans were not only capable of courage but also of leadership and innovation. Training sessions continued aboard the Horizon. Humans learned alien technologies, adapting them creatively, while the princesses learned human ingenuity and resourcefulness. Simulations tested their combined strategies against imaginary enemies, but each time they adapted, improved, and strengthened their unity. Through these exercises, the princesses' personalities shone. Elira's sharpness and discipline instilled confidence. Lysera's empathy brought harmony and understanding, bridging gaps between species. Kyria's creativity inspired solutions no one else could see. Together with Elias' guidance, they became a force ready to face any challenge. Then, intelligence reports revealed the next phase. A massive enemy fleet was assembling to strike at the heart of Queen Mother Gyra's empire. Elias and the princesses knew this would be the ultimate test of their alliance, strategy, and courage. They began planning in earnest, combining all their knowledge and preparing every ally for what was to come. Elias stood on the bridge, looking at the vast stars beyond. "The universe is full of danger," he said quietly to the princesses, "but it's also full of opportunity. Today, we proved that courage, unity, and ingenuity matter more than fear or numbers." Elira's golden eyes glimmered. "We will face the enemy together, human. Your guidance has shown us the power of cooperation." Lysera placed a hand over her heart. "Hope, strategy, and trust, these will lead us, and humans have shown us all three." Kyria bounced in excitement. "Let's get ready. Adventure awaits, and we'll show the galaxy what humans and aliens can do." Elias felt a swell of pride. The daughters were no longer just charges. They were partners, leaders, and symbols of a future where humans could rise beyond their expectations. With them by his side, he believed that anything was possible. As preparations continued, the alliance grew stronger, and news of their victories spread. Humanity's reputation in the galaxy was shifting. No longer merely explorers or settlers, humans were being recognized for courage, innovation, and the ability to unite with others to face great challenges. The final test loomed on the horizon, a battle that would decide not just the fate of the princesses and their allies, but the future of the galaxy itself. And Elias, alongside Elira, Lysera, and Kyria, knew that together they could face whatever came next. The stage was set for the ultimate challenge. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's courage, but now it would see the power of unity between species, guided by ingenuity, bravery, and the human heart. The adventure was far from over, but for the first time, Elias knew with certainty that humanity, and the daughters of Gyra, were ready to meet the galaxy head-on. The vastness of space stretched endlessly beyond the viewports of the horizon, but the tension inside was palpable. Captain Elias Arden, alongside the three princesses, Elira, Lysera, and Kyria, prepared for the ultimate confrontation. The enemy fleet, larger and more organized than any they had faced, was advancing toward the heart of Queen Mother Gyra's empire. This battle would decide the fate of countless worlds. Elias stood on the bridge, surveying the assembled alliance. Ships of human design, alien craft loyal to Gyra, and hybrid units formed a striking array. He turned to the princesses. "This is it. Every lesson, every plan, every moment we've prepared for, it comes down to today. We fight not just for survival, but for hope, for unity, and for the future." Elira's golden eyes glimmered with determination. "Our strategy is sound. The enemy underestimates us because they see humans as weak. They will learn too late that courage, intelligence, and adaptability are more powerful than sheer numbers." Lysera's green glow reflected calm assurance. "We will also protect each other. Together, humans and aliens are stronger than anyone expects. Confidence, focus, and trust, this will guide us." Kyria bounced with excitement, her energy uncontainable. "And let's make sure they remember what teamwork looks like. Adventure awaits, and we'll turn this battle into a victory." The fleet moved forward. Elias piloted the horizon at the center of the formation, with Elira directing tactical maneuvers, Lysera monitoring enemy behavior and morale, and Kyria innovating solutions on the fly. The enemy fleet, confident in their numbers, approached with precision and arrogance, expecting a quick victory. The first wave of engagement was chaotic. Laser fire streaked across space, shields flared under intense energy, and explosions rocked the vacuum. Yet the alliance moved as one. Elira anticipated enemy strategies, guiding the fleet to exploit weak points. Lysera sensed patterns in their opponents' actions, allowing the horizon to dodge incoming attacks and counter effectively. Kyria introduced unexpected tactics, using energy reflection techniques and synchronized maneuvers that confused the enemy sensors. Elias felt a surge of pride and awe. The princesses were no longer just learners, they were leaders. They acted decisively, their skills complementing his human ingenuity. Together, they executed maneuvers the enemy could not anticipate. Despite the chaos, Elias kept his mind focused. "Remember, this is about precision, timing, and unity. Don't underestimate them, but don't fear them either." Hours passed. The battle raged, but slowly, the alliance gained the upper hand. Enemy formations were disrupted, supply lines were cut, and morale began to falter. The princesses coordinated strikes, combining human and alien tactics to maximum effect. Elira calculated precise attacks, Lysera maintained clarity and focus for the crew, and Kyria's innovations turned critical moments into opportunities. At a pivotal moment, Elias executed a bold maneuver. Using a nearby asteroid cluster, He guided the fleet through a narrow passage that allowed for a flanking attack on the enemy command ships. Elira's calculations ensured the timing was perfect. Lysera kept communication seamless, and Kyria's energy diversions blinded enemy sensors long enough for the attack to succeed. The command ships were disabled, and the remaining enemy fleet retreated in confusion. The alliance erupted in controlled celebration. Ships of different species saluted each other, and the victory was felt across the stars. Elias breathed deeply, looking at the princesses, their expressions radiant with pride and relief. "You did it," he said quietly. "All of you. Together we've changed the course of this conflict." Elira's golden eyes softened. "Your leadership, human, showed us that courage and intelligence are not confined to one species. Together we are stronger." Lysera smiled gently. "This is more than victory, it is hope. And it is proof that unity can overcome fear and division." Kyria bounced excitedly. "And fun. We made history while having fun." The princesses returned to Queen Mother Jyra's homeworld with Elias. The queen awaited them, her eyes filled with pride and gratitude. "You have done what I thought impossible," she said. "You protected my daughters, defended my empire, and demonstrated that humans are capable of greatness." Elias nodded humbly. "I only did what anyone would do to protect life and hope. But I'm proud of what we accomplished together." Jyra's gaze turned to her daughters. "And you have grown. Your courage, wisdom, and strength are now your own. You honor both your heritage and the teachings of your human guide." Elira bowed slightly. "We could not have succeeded without him, Mother. His guidance, his courage, and his faith in us made all the difference." Lysera added, "He showed us the value of trust and unity, and we will carry these lessons always." Kyria giggled, bouncing in excitement. "And he's really cool too." The queen smiled warmly, her attention returning to Elias. "For your deeds, bravery, and loyalty, I offer you a place among my people, not as a servant but as a trusted ally and teacher. You have earned our respect and friendship." Elias felt a mix of humility and pride. Humans had been considered young and inexperienced in the galaxy, yet he had just demonstrated that courage, intelligence, and the human spirit could hold their own among the stars. The queen's acknowledgement was more than personal. It was a recognition of humanity itself. The days following the victory were filled with rebuilding and diplomacy. Colonies that had been hesitant to join Jyra's cause now pledged loyalty, inspired by the victories and the human-led strategies that had secured them. Elias, along with the princesses, traveled to coordinate and teach, sharing strategies that combined human and alien insights. The princesses flourished in their roles. Elira became a strategic advisor, planning defense and training for both human and alien forces. Lysera worked to maintain unity and morale, ensuring alliances remained strong. Kyria's creativity and boldness inspired innovation and adaptation, turning challenges into opportunities. Together, they embodied the bridge between their people and humanity. One evening, as Elias watched the stars with the princesses, he reflected on the journey. From the moment he had rescued Queen Mother Jyra, everything had changed. A simple act of courage had led to an alliance, victories, and the growth of extraordinary beings who now worked alongside humanity. "You know," Elira said quietly, "I doubted humans at first. We did not understand your ways, your strength. But now, I see that you have qualities our empire needs: courage, creativity, and loyalty." Lysera smiled, her green eyes reflecting the distant stars. "We've learned that trust and cooperation matter as much as power. And humans show both in ways that inspire others." Kyria leaned on Elia's shoulder, grinning. "And humans can be really fun too. I never thought learning could be this exciting." Elias chuckled, feeling a warmth in his chest. "I think we've all learned from each other. The galaxy is bigger than any one species. Together, we can do things no one could do alone." The queen, seeing the bond between Elias and her daughters, declared a new era for her people. Humans were no longer outsiders. they were respected allies. Collaborative projects began, combining human resourcefulness with alien technology to improve colonies, develop new energy systems, and prepare for future challenges. The princesses, under Elia's guidance, became ambassadors between their civilization and humanity. They traveled together, teaching, learning, and inspiring others. Through them, humans gained respect in the galaxy, not as conquerors or intruders, but as courageous, inventive, and honorable allies. Elias often reflected on the journey. He had started as a simple explorer, curious about the stars. He had saved a life and in doing so, had proven the worth of his species. Humanity's resilience, creativity, and courage had shone through, earning a place in a galaxy that had once doubted them. And in the quiet moments he would look at the princesses, Elira, wise and strategic, Lysera, empathetic and insightful, Kyria, bold and inventive, and realize that their growth was the true reward. They were no longer just alien royalty, they were leaders, symbols of what could be achieved when species worked together. The stars outside continued to shine, endless and full of promise. Elias knew that challenges would come again, that the galaxy was never without danger. But for the first time, he believed with certainty that humanity could rise, not just to survive, but to shape the future, side by side with others. The adventure that began with a rescue had ended in victory, growth, and unity. Humans had proven themselves worthy of respect, and new alliances promised a future where courage, ingenuity, and compassion could lead the way. Elias, standing among the stars with the princesses by his side, knew that this was only the beginning. Together they had changed the course of history. Together they had forged a bond that could endure any challenge. And a new era had begun, one where humans and aliens, united by trust and courage, would explore, protect, and shape the galaxy together. The universe was vast, but humanity had found its place among the stars, not as strangers but as heroes.